brightness. There we go. Well, if anybody's just joined me, come into the chat room and join me on these last few hours of the afternoon. Okay, I'm back. Hey guys, come in, come in. Jordan, are you there? I don't see anybody in the chat room yet. Or am I missing something? Do I have the chat turned on? I see two people watching. Come in, come in. Leave a comment so I know the chat is working. There we go. Aha. We got fast food and something. And working. Who's that working? I won't even say that. Fast food cam. Well, thanks for joining me. I just decided last minute to go grab my charge cable, and heck, why not? See what comes of the afternoon. Yeah, oh, I see what your name says now. Almost got me, yeah. All right, hold on. I gotta figure out the wind here real quick. Aha. Twan. Nothing. No, it's pretty freezing. The water temperature is 41 degrees. So I did get a bite before I went in to get my charge cable. Something decided to peck away at it, but nothing. Where are you guys from? Where's everybody tuning in from? Or I should more accurately ask, where are you guys at? Because I'm from a different place than where I'm at. Nova Scotia. Oh, well, it's warm down here compared to over there, I'm sure. We got Nova Scotia. What else? Oh yeah, I know. Go slow if the water's cold. Yeah, I'm gearing down fourfold than what I've normally. Nova Scotia. Where else? All right, let's go over to where I was when I was going in. I got a hit right over in this direction, so let's work that area a little bit. Jordan, are you out there? Althea? Talk to me. Keep me entertained here. Everyone left, yeah. What am I stuck on here? Hold on a second. I'm dragging something. What is it? Oh, I got somebody's line. That's why. Alright, let's get that untangled. Alright, somebody's bobber. And I'm gonna end up getting hung up in that again. Hold on a second. Take care of this mess here. I'm gonna end up setting my finger in somebody's hook here, a little circle hook. I'm gonna get rid of this. Hold on. There we go. I think I got it. somebody's mess. Alright. Where was I? Alright, let's oh, something hit it. What was that? Hold on. Was that me or was that a fish? Here, that's a fish. Hold on. I think. No. Me dragging on the bottom. Okay. False alarm. All right. Well, you know what? I might have had something hit this because the nose of it is torn up, so it's more like a pickerel. Signs of a pickerel, and its sharp teeth shredding up the bait. Could have been. Let's leave that soak while I change the battery here. Okay. Let me see what I got going here. Da, da, da. Howard! Who is that under the hood? It's me! It's Doc! Now, do I recognize that name, Howard? Howard Clegg. It seems like I do. Who is it? Who is it? Howard, do I recognize your name? Warrant officer. Wait, have I met you? You've been on live before? WO what? 4? Ah, what a good guess, huh? Marine Corps? Yep. Yeah, I got a story, WO4 in Iraq. Ah, okay. Very good. Sorry, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been on. Wow. Well, I just did an 8-year contract, and hold on a second. My motor is okay. Just doing its thing. Didn't get a mind of its own. Yeah, I might as well talk about it since you sparked the memory. Check this out. I was in the in a porta-john in Fob Heat, or on Fob Heat in the Al Anbar province, 2004, 2005, and I was counting board. So while I had my pants down around my ankles, I was counting my 9mm rounds in my magazine. I had my cover in my lap, and I was pulling all the rounds out into my hat and then putting them back in. And I dropped one in the toilet. And then you think, no biggie. Well, as anal as the military is, and accountability being a big thing, and et cetera, et cetera. Hold on a second. That might have been Yep. Hold on. Something's interested here in this bait. Here it is. Hold on. Is that a fish? No. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it might have been, because it's big. So, I didn't think it was a big deal, but then again, I decided to mention it to somebody. So I mentioned it to my first class. I was second class, petty officer, E5. And he's like, well, not a big deal, but why don't you go in and, yeah, I know. Why don't you go in and report it up to the communications center? They call it the CCC, Marine Corps. I was working with the 123 Marines out of Houston, Texas, providing medical support as a Navy corpsman, hence the name Doc. Anyhow, so I went up there and told a warrant officer in there, WO4, what happened. And he's like, oh, Doc, what'd you do that for? And I was like, okay. He's like, well, find it. And I said, find what? He said, the round. I said, are you kidding? It's in the bottom of the porta-john. He's like, well, that ain't my problem. I said, well, how do you suggest I do that? He said, let the workers, the overseas foreign workers, we had 2 guys, one from Albania and the other from Yugoslavia, emptying the trash in the porta-johns. And they suck that stuff out, periodically. He said, let one of them know, and asked them, to keep an eye out for it. And I thought, is he really telling me to look for a 9mm round in the bottom of the shitter? Sure enough. Well, while we were talking, all of a sudden, without warning, we were leveled. I mean, meaning we were knocked to our faces, and both of us were on the floor looking at each other. The room was full of dust. They had like 3/4 inch plywood in the windows. It was just like a cement building, 2-story building. We were on the bottom deck. And there we were on our faces looking at each other, and an IED had gone on out at the gate, which was about 1/8 of a mile off the base. But as you know, the barometric change in the air and the air wave that comes off of those things just is devastating. And so rocked us big time. There we were staring at each other, and the warrant officer said, "Those MFers." I was like, holy shit. And so when the dust settled, we got up, and long story shorter, I don't know if it was the next day or thereafter, the one guy from Albania, when I was drinking coffee with him one night about 8:30 p.m., it was like a ritual. Around 8:30, I would go over and have coffee with him. The Yugoslavia guy, the guy from Albania, and the 2 Iraqi interpreters. And when I got up there, he comes over to me and he had something in his hand, and he put it in my hand, and it was a 9mm round. He goes, "I found it, Doc." And I went, "What?" He goes, a big smile on his face. I was like, "Oh my gosh, did you clean it off?" He goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Unbelievable. So I recovered my 9mm round. Unbelievable. So that was my memory with the warrant officer. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just saw you fishing for bass. A largemouth bass, pickerel, and yellow perch out here. This has its share of fairly good-sized bass in the 4 and 5 pound range, and that's the reason why I keep coming back. Whereabouts are you, Howard? What part of the world? There we go. Something's pecking at it. I should have swung, but I was just waiting for it, and he didn't come back. All right, the activity is starting to increase here, so that's a good sign. Yeah. Midwest. Gotcha. When you say Joe's, what are you referring to? Whoa, what's going on here? Kind of weird. Oh, I got you. As in G.I. Joe's. You know, if you didn't already know, I'm married to a lady from the Philippines, and any white guy, or specifically an American, but they can't immediately tell whether you're an American or you're just a European. But typically, any white guy that passes by, it's very common for guys to yell out, "Hey Joe!" And that's where that came from. The GI Joes during World War II, and so that was coined for any white guy. Oh, look, my spot lock isn't quite keeping me where I need to be. Let me reposition here real quick. My best man in my wedding, Joseph, and I took him to the Philippines. I got married over there. Went over to meet my wife's mom and dad, and got married over there to save a ton of money as well. And so when Joe got over there, he experienced that. People started calling him Joe. "Hey Joe!" And he thought, "How did they know my name?" And I was like, no. Everybody's a Joe. Okay, let's see if my spot lock will keep me. The wind died, so I don't really have any wind anymore. This thing operates best when there's wind, so. You know what? It's not that cold. What's going on? Too many things going on. There we go. Navy squids, Marine. Yep. Devil dogs. They call me a devil doc since I'm a Navy doc. Devil docs because we're working with the Marines. Oh, there is a person behind that mask. Okay, come on. There's life out here somewhere. So I've tried a Senko, or a stick bait, a worm. The color is, what is it? Junebug and chartreuse, with a chartreuse tail. And this is called a Toho. It's actually green pumpkin green with a blue kind of impregnated through and through. It's kind of an old, ugly looking mix. Swim bait, or soft swim bait. So I've gone through those, and so far the only activity has been on this They call it a naked swimmer with a like a shad tail. Docks are unique, just like artillery fire sports that go with the infantry. Hoorah. What makes them unique to you? Just the job that we do? Is that what you're referring to? Definitely a different breed of person to be able to disassociate yourself with the work that you do. And that's what it is. It just becomes work. You're really not associating yourself with the emotions and everything else that goes along with human, pain and suffering and etc. It's just a job to do. And you got your priorities, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them the best, quickest care that you can with what you have. It's like fires that need to be put out. It's the way you kind of approach it. You got a fire to put out, and you take care of it and get them on their way, and you go on to the next one. If I get involved with your emotions, I'm going to be a wreck by the time if it gets busy. And that's the morbid part of medicine is, if it wasn't for somebody getting sick or injured, we would be doing nothing. It would be a very boring job. So in order to stay busy, somebody needs to get sick or injured. You see what I mean? It's not not something you want to wish on somebody, but at the same time, it's like, come on, I got to do something. Come in and complain of a headache, or tell me you've got a cough so I can listen to your lung sounds, or, give me something to do. Downtime is nice, but boy, it gets old quick. Yeah, it's actually quite a cool job, and yet people will look at you and go, "Whoa, man, that's pretty bizarre." And it's like, no, it's pretty rewarding. It can be frustrating when things don't go, the way they should. Then it starts getting a little bit stressful. Then you start using your resources. That's when you guys, your fellow soldiers, become an extra set of hands, and you put them to work, and then things start getting done again. And you're trying to keep them under control because their job isn't my job, so they don't handle it like I do. And then they become, the next patient to take care of, trying to keep them under control and get them to do, what they need to do for you. But thank God for, peripheral help, because if it wasn't for you guys, it would be a lot harder. That's like firefighters and police officers. Praise God for them. They got their job to do, but at the same time, it's an extra set of hands. And now this is, I'm going to share some, I don't know if other people will agree with me in the field of medicine, in military medicine and or civilian medicine, but because the nature of the job, I said before, I can't really get emotionally, attached to you. But yet at the same time, I'm spending 7 months with you, out in the middle of the dirt, maybe even sleeping, in the same bunk issue or whatever, the same vehicle. And so you have no choice but to, get to know each other. But at the same time, I don't want to get to know you. I mean, I know my job, and I'm gonna do my job to the best that I know how, and I'm gonna take care of you. But if I start getting emotionally attached, to who you are and your family and your spouse and your children, and it's like, it makes my job a lot harder if something were to happen to you. And so in the civilian world, I'm speaking because that's the spoon that fed me more so than the military, as a paramedic. When the job is done, you kind of isolate yourself. You kind of end up going off on your own, and you do your thing. You develop your own little routine. And that's really not what the military is. The mindset of the military, having somebody's back, esprit de corps, you're only stronger than your weakest link, et cetera, et cetera. I understand that, but with my job, I would rather be able to work with you, but then when it comes to, I don't know if I'm making any sense, I'd rather kind of cut it off at that point. And when we have a call, or we need to go do something, or we're on the patrol together, or we're doing a mission, then it's all business again. I've got your back, you got mine. I do my job, you do yours. We know each other. We operate together. But my line just, oh my gosh, I got a wind knot like from hell. Hell, right? I don't think I'm going to be able to get this one undone. We'll see. Holy moly, that was a mess. That is not good. Yeah, so I ran into a little dilemma over in Iraq. I might have shared this before about that. I was on my own when we weren't doing anything, and people were starting to talk, and the rumors were starting to get spread, as they do, especially when you have a lot of downtime and people are all gathered together playing cards or watching movies or shooting the bull or having coffee and snacks. Much more downtime than there is things to do. People are wondering, where's Doc? Like, well, I'm off doing my thing. And I don't mean to be, the outsider, but that's just the way I operate. And people were starting to, start rumors and talk and yada, yada, yada. And I was getting a little bent out of shape over that. And I had to talk to my first class and, let him know that I wasn't doing anything to disrespect or not be, part of the crew. And I had to share with him the exact thing I just shared with you, and I just told him, that's the way it is for me. Okay, I'm getting somewhere with this knot, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm taking out a lot of line here. I hope. Yep, line hit. Now see, here's the. I'm going to change the subject here. The advantage of having a spot lock is when you encounter dilemmas such as this, the navigation is already taken care of, and I don't have to worry about wind blowing me, into the shore or under the trees or where I shouldn't be. The GPS keeps me locked on a spot, and I can take care of this, for example, and not have to worry about it. It's like an autopilot. Okay, I'm getting this accomplished, but it's not reaching the knot or the loose end here. Here we go. Okay, finally. Uh-oh. Now I got a knot here. Holy good Lord. Oh, get off me. All right. Here we go. I think we got it. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. I got one last little bit here. Come on. Come on. Gosh. There it is. I'm done. Aren't I? Where would it be? All right. Let me... Almost there. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can reel all this back in here. Holy moly. Boy, that was a... Wow. Wow, I saved it. Okay. Goodness. Okay. Had I been fed by the military and the military alone, it might have been different. I might have developed a different, I probably would have, a different mindset on that. But maybe not. I don't know. All right, that spot lock performed flawlessly, which it should, but lately I've been having minor issues with it, so got to keep an eye on it. Oh, we got somebody over there on the shore. Oh, that's the dad and the son. I've met them before, and they spoke with me before I launched. Yeah, I spent more time with the interpreters and the foreign workers from Albania and Yugoslavia than I did in my unit. Well, let me go over to this area. Let me kind of relocate it a tad and cast in the same area but from a different spot. Time we got? What do we got? What do we got? We got 3:12. Well, the sun's going to go down in about 2 hours, or just shy of 2 hours. Turn in here and lock right around this spot right here. See what that does. Just catch and release, Howard. Let's see here. Okay, this is the an example of the spot lock kind of having a mind of its own. It's taken me away. Let's see how far this thing takes me before it stops. If it turns around or not. This is the issue I've been kind of experiencing. Yeah, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going. Not sure why. live. A little bit. It was a warmer day today. Olive. Is that Olive? Oh, live. I'm going to call you Olive. The water temperature is really cold still. It's 40 degrees. But it was a high of 54 today. So I thought, oh, fishing weather. As long as the wind was relatively low, and it was. So decided to take the boat since it's thawed out and just get out on the water, put it through its motions. And I underdressed a bit. It was kind of a toss-up as to how warm do I dress, and I'm like right on the edge of not bringing enough, but at the same time I still got one more layer in my outer shell if I really need to. But for now it's bearable, and it's with the hood pulled up and the wind cut from my face, it's pretty warm. So. Well, there's 3 species out here on the water that I know of, and that's largemouth bass. That's the goal. That's the reason for being out here. Pickerel, chain pickerel, and a yellow perch. But I'm not fishing to bring anything home, to cook. I'm just releasing it if I do catch it. Out here for the fun. Something to do. Fish till dark. It's typically what I do the most, is from afternoon until dark, or when the time change allows me, and the sundown starts getting later, more in the 8 to 8:30 range. I'll go out around 3 o'clock, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then fish till dark. But now the sun's going down just before 5, so I decided I'd go out at noon. By the time I got out here, it's about 1. So I'll spend 4 hours until dark, and then pack up and hit the hot coffee on the way home, and voila. Maybe even a bite to eat at the Wawa here in New Jersey. And I'm golden. Yeah. Whereabouts are you? Yeah, coffee is definitely and always all day long for me. And Olive, I'm sorry, you're female. I can barely see your profile picture. 9:20 p.m. Oh wow, where are you, in New Zealand or something? No, p.m. Sorry. You're in the UK. Let's see, you must be in Europe. It's a 6-hour difference. So you must be in like Italy or Spain or Austria. Oh, well, I was getting close. Yeah, the UK is 5-hour difference. So you must be one more country further east. Yep. Well, thanks for finding me and stopping. This is just a random live stream. I don't normally live stream out here on the water, but I figured I had my phone with me, and I got the cord out of the car, and decided, why not? Let's just start a live and see what happens. And we don't necessarily need to talk about fishing, but if I catch a fish, then we will. But usually the topic of military, emergency medicine, pre-hospital, and or even the Word of God pops in. Those are kind of the 3 main Whoa, what's that? Topics that come up. Okay, I was gonna say that's either I'm bumping over stuff, debris, or that was a fish, and I'm gonna say it was the former. All right. Well, still hanging in there. Don't need to replace it as of yet. Oh, I was on your live? Are you Filipino? I'm sorry. You must be. You're a widow and Filipina ka? You must be. No? Oh, you mean I was visiting your live? All right, Howard. Now, wait a minute. You said widow earlier. Hold on. And saan ka nakatira sa Pinas? Pampanga. In the Bukid. No? That's a Bukid region. Isn't it? Right? Oh, near Clark Air Base. No, you're not in the Bukid. Oh, okay. Yeah, Clark is more flat, right? Angeles City. Gotcha. Is that near La Union? Oh, 3 to 4 hours. Okay. I'd have to look on a map. Gotcha. Okay, where are you? You know, I was just in the Philippines in September, this past September, only for 13 days. Unfortunately, family member died, and I had to go back there for a funeral. So I was in Iloilo from September. When was that? Like beginning of September till the 13th, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, it was a sad, as always, sequence of events. My Asawa's youngest brother just, unexpectedly took his last breath, and everybody scrambled for tickets and getting off work and who's going to go and who can't. The whole logistical nightmare when something like that happens. from Haro, Iloilo, and her family, mom's side is up in Lambunao, up in the Bukid, about an hour north of Iloilo City. And then her dad is from Negros Occidental, in city of Himamaylan, Negros Occidental. About 2 hours south of Bacolod. You get the ferry, the Ro-Ro or the fast craft from Dumangas, Iloilo, across to Bacolod, and then take a vehicle down to Himamaylan. That's her dad's side. And this time we stayed in Iloilo, and then we flew to Mall of Asia, awaiting our departure the next day. So my brother-in-law and I got put up in a 5-star hotel there at the port of downtown Manila, and then we wined and dined ourselves there at Mall of Asia until the next day, where we caught our flight home. It's awfully cold out. The water temperature is like 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's icy cold. And the fish are pretty much hibernating, inactive. It was warm enough to motivate me to get out here on the water. All right, let's try something different. All right, dear. See you again. I'll look for you. Bye. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay. Tulog ka. My hands are getting numb. Let's turn right and go over there. Now, why is it I'm not getting all of community moderation? Aha, top messages, all messages. There we go. Let's, I got another idea. Let's see. Okay. go. Yeah. Okay. Okey-dokey. Wow. That's an icy one. Let's get that cranked up. Woo. Okay. Good to go. Set the hatch. I think we're good. Let me check the turn signals real quick. Got that one, front, and the right side. That one. And we got all three there. Okay. There we go. Oh. And telephone. All right. If my nose won't run off my face. Coming home. Uh-oh. You know what? The rear wiper is not automatically returning to its okay. Oh, we got two people watching. Who's watching, guys? Reveal yourself. I'm on the way. Oh, I still got my PFD on. Imagine that. And I thought I was good to go. Alrighty. Almost squared away. And there we go. You got everything? Everything's secure. Down here, Captain. No signs of life anywhere. All right. Who's watching? Is that you, Jordan? Althea? Are you there? Well, it's coffee time. Gotta go and go to the Wawa. Who's there? Who's there? Come in, come in. Say something, entertain me while I'm driving. Whoop. Now you see him, now you don't. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law, in his word, does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore, because of that, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Why? For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. That's Psalm 1 through 6. And that was a police officer without his lights on. And I flashed him. Oh, looks like he's got his lights on now. You know, the last time I flashed my lights at a police officer, he ended up giving me a ticket and telling me I can't be doing that. It's like, what? Says who? Says what law? Goofball. I was trying to warn him to not pull in front of me and blow that yield sign that he had, yield on a left turn. And what did he do? He blew through the yield sign and cut me off, and ended up giving me a ticket for not yielding the right of way. And I said, officer, you're wrong. Don't give me that ticket. And I showed him from my phone the sign that he missed, and he still wouldn't accept it and said, you can take this up with the judge. And I ended up spending 8 months in 2 Zoom meetings before the district attorney, or whatever his title is, the court-appointed DA online, my case. He actually said, you again? I was like, yeah, me again. So what's going on? He said, back in a private room. And I told him, and he half smiled and chuckled and said, give me a moment. Let me present this to the judge and I'll get back to you. And then he came back and said, you're done. Case is dismissed. I said, why did I have to go through this when the offending party was the officer himself? He said, really? I said, yeah, really. He said, well, file a complaint at the police station and this would never have taken place. You wouldn't have had to have gone through all this. I said, well, I had no idea. That's what I needed to do. So anyways, yeah, he wouldn't admit, even explained it to him, that the intersection was a known intersection for people to do exactly what he did. I said, I've done it. I said, you just fell into the trap yourself and you blew through the yield sign. You followed the guy in front of you and didn't even think to look. They do. They just blow through that yield sign and cut people off trying to make a right turn on a green light. And anyways, I got myself going again, and this happened 2 years ago or so. And definitely was an inconvenience for me. because without blocking him in. There we go. Looks like I'm back. Sorry about that. Looks like I lost the Ooh. Oh, my hips are sore, my feet are sore, my neck is sore. Yeah. Okay. Try again. All right, we're off. Well, almost. Hello? Who's out there? Come in, don't leave. Ah, you left. Okay. E5, possibly XT4, XT5. Hey. We got a left turn signal, no left turn signal. Or no left arrow.